May the infinite Lord of life, of love, and of laughter bless you at this moment. May each cell of your being and each petal of your mind be touched, be healed, be harmonized. May vim and vigor and vitality be yours. May love and laughter be yours. May you truly find that's what you seek. And may you find that which you seek surely, swiftly, and most harmoniously. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Well, I'd like to welcome you to the Temple of Kriya Yoga this afternoon for the noon meditation. And today I'd like to talk for a little bit about the building blocks of our universe, or meditate with you on the building blocks of our universe. And there's 5 building blocks that exist. And you know how I know that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. That's all I can count on one hand, and so there must be 5. How about that? Joking a little bit, but there are 5 building blocks that I'd like to talk to you about today. And I'm using numbers and suggesting to you, to a little degree, that numerology might be involved in it, or it has something to do with numerology. And our universe, if you look at it, what you'll find that you can see patterns repeated over and over and over again. And there's a couple of patterns that are very outstanding, dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can say, well, wait a minute. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on. And that's true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. So you can go above 5, you can below 1. Now, taking the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if you take the tenfold pattern, of course, that's 10. So now we have 2 times 5. And you get a tenfold pattern. The tenfold pattern has to do with nature. You can say, oh, I can even go beyond that. I can go 11, 12. Because 12 is a very common patterning that exists in life. And the 12 comes from 10 plus 11, what we would call the sun center, Ajna chakra, and 12, the moon center, the Ajna chakra. And that gets you to 12. And with that type of patterning, what the mystic would say is, oh, you're dealing with 10, which has to do with nature, below the neck, below your level of consciousness. And then you add in that 11 and 12, that factor of 2, which has to do with the logical and the feeling nature. And I don't want to say emotional, I want to say the feeling nature. So you have the logic and the feeling nature that exist. Male and female, masculine and feminine, I think is a better way to say it, masculine and feminine. And then that has to do with, the mystic would say, with God. So 12 is the number of God, 10 is the number of nature. So I have to stop and back up again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's repeated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 times 5 is 10. And I went through all of that. On the other hand, you have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you go to 0, and we talk about 0. And 0 is an interesting patterning because 0 is not a number. This was something that was introduced to me just a few years ago. So throughout all my life, I thought, well, 0 is a number. When I went to the temple and I started going to the temple, Kriyananda would talk about 0, but he said, no, 0 is I think the way he said it was an indexing number or a placeholder. In other words, you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, but 10 is not 10, 10 is 1 plus 0, so you're just back to 1. And so you can go through infinity of numbers, and you would just really use 9 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th number, which isn't really a number, 0, just gets that patterning to start over again. And so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 is just 1 through 9 with the 0 added on to it, or that 10 added on. And you can do that all the way up to 100, 99. Then you get from 99, it moves over to 100, and now you have 2 zeros added. And so there's that placeholder, or what I said earlier, that indexing factor, where you just repeat 1 through 9, but then it indexes to 10, and then it indexes to 100, and then it indexes to 1,000. And that's it, mystically speaking. And the numbers have meaning in the standpoint that the base numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, if you talk about those numbers, particularly he would talk about in the Bible, when the Bible used these numbers, the single number implied it was divine in nature. It was dealing with divinity. If you indexed it to 10, the pattern would stay the same, but now you would be talking about, this would be 10 through 99, you would be talking about something that was happening in the causal world. And then you go from 100 to 999, and that if you ran to a number like that, mystically speaking, biblically speaking, or otherwise, that would deal with the astral world. And if it was 1,000 or beyond that, it had something that you were dealing with was in the physical realm. And I've heard it go the other way, where 0 is the physical realm, the second digit is the astral, the causal, and then the divine realm. But either way, that's the patterning. What the point is that I'm getting at is all we have is we're really dealing with 9 numbers, 0 through 9. That gives you 10 numbers. The 10 is really 5, 2 times 5. And so now I get back way to the beginning where I started at. There's really only 5 numbers when you're dealing with the building blocks of the universe. And everything else is just related to those 5. Zero is an interesting number because I said it's not a number. I keep calling it a number. That's just because for the sake of conversation or the sake of talking, it's a number. It makes it easier to discuss, but it's not a number. Zero is like infinity. Infinity is not a number. Zero and infinity are concepts. And like I said, I took a lot of courses, a lot of mathematical courses, and I really enjoyed mathematics and studying mathematics when I was in school. And in studying the mathematics, when I was introduced to these zero and infinity, um, I realized that there was something special about them, but I always thought of them as numbers. Even infinity, I thought of as a number, but it's not. And this is important. Zero and infinity are concepts. You know, you think of zero and you say, okay, that means nothing. Like you have a bowl of fruit, and the bowl of fruit has 5 apples in it. And you take out the 5 apples, and once the 5 apples are gone, you're down to 0. But in and of itself, if there's 4 apples in the bowl, you know that you're talking about 4 apples. If there's 3 apples in the bowl, you know you're talking about 3 apples. But if you get down to 0, there's no apples in the bowl, so what are you talking about? You're not talking about anything. It's a concept, is the point that I'm getting at. And that's what the purpose of understanding the building blocks of the universe is about. That's what we're trying to get to in this life. What is, if you were to ask me, dealing with the idea or the thoughts that I'm talking about this afternoon, what does the zero really mean? Or what is zero? Or what is the meaning of life? What is life about? My answer to that question in context of what I'm talking about this afternoon is we're trying to get to 0. If you get to 0, what you do is you pop out of this universe and you move into a different universe. And that's what I mean by a concept. It's something that's happening. You get to 0, and if you can get to 0, your consciousness, the consciousness that you are, moves from this realm to a different realm. It could be to an astral realm, a causal realm, the divine realm, whatever. But whatever happens, what happens is conceptually, you move from awareness of this realm into awareness of some other realm. Typically, when you do that, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you go to 0, and you take your consciousness and you move it out of this realm, you move it into the astral realm. And for most people, that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to accomplish in this life. And I would say maybe students of mysticism. I want to move my consciousness from awareness of this realm into the awareness of the astral realm, the astral travel, astral consciousness. That's ambitious, and it's a good thought. However, for certain reasons, in yoga and dealing with Kriya Yoga in the temple, Kriyananda has quite frequently said, you don't want to get into the astral realm. What you really want to do is you want to move from this realm into the causal realm. The causal realm is above the astral realm. The reason being that both this realm and the astral realms are lower realms, and they're easy to get caught up emotionally. You get caught up emotionally in this realm by focusing on things. And implied in things is money. Now, money's not a bad thing, and I'm not suggesting that in any way, shape, or form. You have to have money in this realm to survive. And so it's necessary to have money. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to get emotionally attached to it, attached to the money. You don't want to get emotionally attached to things, to the things of this world. I think the way Kriyananda would say it is he looks around and he sees everybody thinks they're going to take a permanent residence on this earth. And if they think that, they're in for a shock, because this earth is going to disappear at some point in time. The earth is going to go away. We don't know if that's tomorrow. We don't know if that's a million years from now. But at some point it's going to dissolve away. And you don't want to be attached to it when that happens. It messes up your conscious awareness of life and things that are happening. And you get disoriented and you just wind up like a butterfly floating around in the breeze until you eventually come upon something that you can land upon, but that's up to the winds. It's not up to you. And you want control of your destiny. You want control of this life. You want control of your astral life. You want control of your causal life. Wherever your consciousness moves, wherever it goes to, you want to have control in that realm. You want to have control in this realm. And the way to get control in this realm is to make sure you don't get emotionally attached to money. You don't get emotionally attached to things. And by emotionally attached, what I'm implying or suggesting in that is it becomes the prime motivation, prime mover of you and your thoughts and your actions. And then the thought that comes to mind is the money is the root of all evil, is what they say. Money isn't the root of the evil, it's the attachment to the money that's the problem. Things aren't the problem in this world, it's the attachment that you and I have to the things that's the problem. And we're trying to get detached from the physical world. And the way we do that, the way we suggest doing it in yoga, is by studying meditation and meditative techniques. Meditative techniques, pranayamas, and things of that nature. And through the meditative techniques, we close our eyes, but we're conscious. We go to sleep consciously. Meditation is going to sleep consciously. So we sit in a comfortable meditative posture. You close your eyes like you're going to go to sleep. And if your meditation is effective, if you get into a deep meditation, what you'll find is all of a sudden you'll go inside of yourself, or what we say is inside of yourself. And when we go inside of ourselves, we find that we're in a whole new universe, a whole new and different universe. In effect, it's the dream state. The dream state is the lower astral world. So in your meditation, you're slowly moving, as you practice the meditation, to move into awareness of the astral world, which is an awareness of your dream state. And you want to become more and more aware of your dream states. And we talk about one of the techniques of meditation is to, when you go to bed at night or you prepare to go to bed, you slowly wind down. You don't just hop in bed, close your eyes and fall asleep. You relax for a few minutes. You meditate for a short period of time. And you slowly move from an awareness of this world into an awareness of the dream world, dream state, which I said is the lower astral, or what we call the lower astral. And you fall asleep consciously. That's the technique. You close your eyes and you go to sleep, but you do it consciously is the best way I know how to say it. If you want to say, well, I need I need something better to grab onto, the best I can say is you start meditating. And if you start to do the meditation, what you'll find eventually, and different people will be at different stages of meditation when they start. But for a lot of people, they'll go into the meditation, and all that happens is they're hearing thoughts. They're hearing thoughts in their head, and they're going through, oh, today what did I have for lunch today? Oh, I had a salad for lunch today. And then they start thinking, oh yeah, then what did I do? Oh yeah, I had to go back to work. And after that, I had dinner, and then I went home and I watched TV or I listened to the radio or listened to music or whatever it might be. And then I went to bed. And all these thoughts are going through your head. And at first, it's difficult because the thoughts are interfering with the meditation. And so you meditate every day. And every day, the second technique that we talk about in Kriya Yoga is you do the meditation, and as part of the meditation, if a thought comes into your mind, you say, neti, neti, neti. I am not this thought, I am not that thought, I am not thought. And you kind of let the thought dissipate or move out of your mind. And then another thought comes into your mind. And again, you say, neti, neti, neti. I am not this thought, I am not that thought, I am not thought. And you let the thought move out of your mind. And if you do this long enough, pretty soon the mind starts to catch the drift, and the thoughts don't come so frequently. And when that happens, you have that experience of meditation, which is an experience where you know, and the best way I know how to explain it is, you know that there's a surrounding around you. You know that you're in the universe, in a universe, and you know that the universe is around you, but you're not really aware of it. You're not really aware of the physical world external to you. You have now moved into a meditative state, and out of the physical realm. Now, exactly where you've gone, again, it depends on how long you've been meditating, what you've been doing in your meditations, and just the state that you're at karmically. You know, we all have a karmic position in life where I know I've taught meditation classes, and when I started meditating myself, it took a long time, let's just say, because it would be embarrassing to say how long before I had anything really tangible that I could think about, talk about, whatever. Weeks and months and even longer. But I would teach a class, and I would teach a class on meditation at a public school. And I was always surprised, because I would teach the class and I'd give a meditative technique, and I would say every other class, every other session, every other, the classes lasted 10 weeks. So every course, at some point in that course, usually in the first week or two, somebody would come up to me and say, wow, I closed my eyes and I meditated and I saw lights, I saw stars, I saw this, I saw that. And so all I'm saying is, when people start meditating and they do the meditation, they're going to be starting at different places. And no matter where you're at, you got to start somewhere. You got to start at step one. If you don't get past the step zero, you're not going to get anywhere. So you got to get from 0 to 1 first, which is to sit down and do the meditation. And again, it's just very simple. You come into a meditative, close your eyes, bring your attention to the point between the eyes at the root of the nose. We call it the Ajna chakra, and just let your mind go. Let all the thoughts release from your mind. Release all the thoughts from your mind. And then at that point, it's somewhere along the meditative practice that you're doing. Subtle things, at least subtle things will happen. Like I said, your awareness shifts, and all of a sudden you're in a realm. You're awake, you know you're awake, and you're thinking about, you can feel something happening, but you know that you're not in the physical world. There's that, again, the best way I know how to explain it is you're aware, but you're not aware. And you know how you know that you're aware, but you're not aware? Because all of a sudden something will happen and you'll be pulled back. Your karma pulls you back into this realm, and it's like a jog in your consciousness. Whoa, that was quite an experience. And you become fully aware of this realm. You've lost your awareness of the other realm, whatever realm it is that you've moved into, and you now become aware of the physical realm. And that's where your consciousness is at until your next meditation. I think I mentioned a few moments ago, you move from this realm into another realm. And for a lot of people, there's a desire to get into the astral realm. The astral realm is a power realm. If I tried to orient your mind to physical, astral, causal, divine realm, the physical realm is usually symbolically represented as the lowest realm. And then the astral realm is above the physical realm, is kind of how they say it. And then above the astral realm is the causal realm, and then above the causal realm is the divine realm. There's 4 realms. 4 is one of those other numbers that's important. And I've talked about that in the past frequently. 4 is important because it deals very intensely with this world and this realm. You look around and you see this fourfold pattern all the time. You walk into a room, there's 4 walls. You come to a street crossing, there's 4 ways you can go: left, right, forward, and back. The fourfold pattern is there. A stop sign has 8 sides to it. That's 2 times 4. So anyway, that's a little deviation from what I was trying to talk about. Anyway, so you move from the physical. Most people have a desire to get into the astral and do astral travel. And that's fine, that's okay. But Kriyananda has said you really don't want to do that because you get caught in that realm. You find that you can, if you can have this astral awareness, it brings with it an ability to pull energy into this world, and in this ability to pull the energy from the astral, which is a energy realm, it pulls into this realm, and it allows things to manifest fairly quickly in the physical realm. In other words, first you have to get it into the astral. You have to get it, the energy flows from the astral to the physical. So you go into the astral realm, you do the meditation and the meditation techniques, and they would say you do magic, which is what real magic is about. You pull energies together with your consciousness. It brings it into this realm, and it gets it to manifest in this realm. The reason it's a problem is because it's very seductive. Again, it goes back to, we wind up being attached to the money. We wind up being attached to the physical things that we pull from the astral realm. And so he says what you really want to go into is the causal realm. And the causal realm is a very highly mental realm. And it's where the thought processes start for us in this world. And it's the main center of, I used the word already, magic, where the energy flows from the causal realm down to the astral realm and then down to the physical realm. The astral realm and the physical realm are very closely linked together, and they're actually a pendulum. What we're doing is we're swinging back and forth on this pendulum from the physical world into the astral world. We do it every day. We move from the physical world in the daytime over into the astral world at the nighttime when we fall asleep. Remember, I said the dream state is the lower astral. So when you go to sleep at night, you've moved over into the astral. You wake up in the morning and your consciousness moves back into the physical realm. And that's what your consciousness does every day. It swings from the physical realm into the astral realm at night and then back into the physical realm. And as you move from the astral into the physical again, you pull that energy from the astral world into the physical world, and you become energized. You're ready to perform your daily activities. But again, the problem with the astral is that it attaches you to, if you're able to manipulate things in the astral, that's just what happens. You manipulate the things in the astral to get them to manifest in the physical realm. But whenever you do the manipulation of something in that realm to bring it into this realm, you become manipulated by the things that you're causing to manifest in your life. You go in your meditation and you go into your deep meditation and you move over into the astral and you say, oh, I want to be married, I want to be married. And you open up and standing in front of you is, as Kriyananda would say, Mr. Wrong or Miss Wrong. but you've been wishing for it and meditating on it and pulling it so long into your life that the spouse, I want to get married, the spouse gets pulled into your life. And like I said, now the spouse starts to try and manipulate you. It's an interesting phenomenon that occurs. And so Kriyananda would say, when you go into your meditation, don't wish for anything. Don't ask for anything. Hard to do, but that's where it's at. And I just had a thought. I remember someone was talking about the marriage and getting married, finding a significant other, and it should be done. I'm joking with you about it, but it's a serious thing. There's nothing wrong. Again, going way back to the beginning of the meditation of what I was talking about, there's nothing wrong with women. There's nothing wrong with men. There's nothing wrong with getting married. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get married. The problems come when we get married and we grab the spouse and we try and hold the spouse and control the spouse. And nobody wants to be controlled. Nobody really just doesn't want. Even if they say they don't mind or they don't care or they want to be, maybe to a certain degree, there's a comfort level there, a level of security. But once you get past that security, there's a realization the person's trying to possess you. That's an interesting way to say it. And when that happens, the problems start and the difficulties start. So to get married is good, to have a spouse is good, to control the spouse, to manipulate the spouse is not good. It creates problems. And so anyway, I was listening to an inspirational speaker talking one time, and the person said, a lot of women go husband hunting. Or at least when I was younger, that's what, there was an old saying, a man chases a woman till she catches him. I don't think that's changed. I think it's accurate even today. So anyway, a woman is going husband hunting, and the speaker said, people seem to have so much trouble, and he doesn't understand why they have so much trouble. Men with women, women with men, and where all the problems started. And I mentioned possession and that. Implied in this idea of she wants to possess him or he wants to possess her, implied in that is control and trying to change the other person so that that person of what a spouse is, whether it's the husband or the wife. And so the almost natural occurrence is the person tries to change the other person. The man tries to change the woman tries to change the man in the marriage. When that happens, it leads to disaster. And I was talking about this inspirational speaker, and it was a man, and he was saying, if a woman wants a man wants a woman, what that really means is, and what's important for the person is that they need approval. What they really want is when a man chases a woman or a woman chases a man, ultimately they want to be approved of. No, I want to be a little bit careful how I say this or how I present it, but it was a man that was speaking, and he was saying that uh, when a man looks for a woman, he usually looks for a beautiful woman. But interestingly, he he will normally pick to marry someone that isn't the most beautiful of them. So looking from the outside, you look at him and you say, my God, he has this beautiful, gorgeous woman that any man would want. And then he picks a plain Jane. Again, I don't want to be disrespectful, but what we would call a plain Jane. And you scratch your head, why? You know, he has his choice. And why, instead of the beautiful woman, does he pick the plain Jane? And the answer is because she approves of him. She felt approval, or he felt the approval. That's how man ultimately chooses a woman, and I believe ultimately how a woman chooses a man, accepting the person. And that explains why you walk through a shopping center, and a crowded shopping center, and look at people that are together, a woman with a man with a woman. And you'll notice frequently two people are together, and you'll scratch your head and you'll say, why the heck did she choose him? Or why the heck did he choose her? And I tell you, the answer is because the one that was chosen approved of him. The one that was chosen approved of her. It has to do with approval. That's what's so damaging and devastating about relationships. And this is important, both women and men, to understand. When a person starts to criticize their spouse, if you follow what I've been saying, when a person starts to criticize the spouse, what they're saying is, I no longer approve of you. The criticism is a communications. It's subtle, it's unconscious, it's not spoken. The person doesn't say, I don't approve of you. It's a criticism, but the criticism on a very subtle level is an understanding, I no longer approve of you. And at some point, if the criticism continues, it reaches a point where the person on an unconscious level actually says, I no longer accept you. And that's the end of the marriage. That's the end of the relationship. The end of the relationship is when the person, not in words, but in actions, in words and criticism, not the words, I don't approve of you and that, but the message comes across, I no longer approve of you, you no longer approve of me, and the relationship is over with. So if you want to keep your relationship intact, if you want to keep your marriage intact, the most important thing you can do is send the message to the spouse, I approve of you. And if you do that, no matter what happens within the marriage will be successful. It will continue. And not only will it continue and be successful, but it will be a happy marriage. And that's really what we're trying to move towards, is to be happy in the relationship. And so when you go into your meditation, that's what the goal or the aim of the meditation is for approval, for acceptance, and for happiness, to be happy within the relationship in this case, or whatever it is the meditation is that you're working on. You want to move towards that. And again, Kriyananda would say you don't want to move into the astral, that's the things, but you move into the causal. The causal is the realm which exists above the astral. It's above the physical realm. It's in a non-emotional realm. It's kind of like we would say the physical realm is the right-hand path, or the right-hand world. The astral world is the left-hand world, the left-hand path. The causal realm is in the center. It's between the two. It's a combination of the left hand and the right hand. It's a combination of the masculine and the feminine. It's in the center, the balance point, and that's where you want to move to in your meditation. And that's why we say you move inward and you move into the center of your being. And then once you do that, you're in the causal realm. We would say in the susamanic channel, in the center of the spinal column. You moved into a true meditative state. And once you're in that state, you can do one of two things happen. You move from that state, which is a state of peace and tranquility, and you move out into the physical world, back out. You move out of the meditation into this world. But when you move into this world, you move into this world in a state of peace and in a state of balance. The other thing that could happen, which is what you want to work on as you continue with your meditation and your meditative practice, is you move in, out of the physical, out of the astral, you move into the center of your being, the causal, and you move up. You move up and out. And as you move up and out, what you're doing is you're moving up and out and into the divinic realm, the realm of the gods. And life is a circle. And so if you have a physical body down here, you move up into the divine realm, you move up into the causal realm, whatever the case might be. At some point, the meditation comes to an end, and always, from whatever realm that you're existing in at that point in time, you move back into the physical realm, and then you bring back into the physical realm whatever it is that you obtained in one of the other realms. The energy flow is always down towards the physical realm. So you go into the divine realm and you say the God is there, and you're standing face to face with God, and God says, what would you like? All I want to do is give you whatever you want. And you're in such a state of bliss and a feeling of happiness, contentment, bliss is really the word. And you say, I don't want anything. And that's the ultimate meditation. And you bring back into this realm, to the physical realm, that feeling state of bliss. And then it fills all the cells of your being, all the petals of your mind are filled with bliss. And then you start to build this life with the building blocks of your universe that you have. And with that thought, I'll close the meditation with an Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om